World of Warcraft is about to get a lot spookier, as Nixium says. We've been seeing updates to the Halloween event lately, the new broom and everything. Let's see what Nixium means when
World
he
of
says
Warcraft just got a whole lot scarier. That's right, everybody. Everybody's favorite horror, the dreaded Horseman, is finally getting some love
fight.
after years of neglect in this game. In patch 10.1.7, we are seeing some major updates to the Headless Horseman encounter. New lore, new mechanics, maybe some new rewards. Guys,
yeah.
Today we're geeking out about World of Warcraft's best holiday, Hollow's End.
One thing Blizzard's been doing a lot of that we've been seeing on the PTR is they're revamping a lot of the holiday events. And Halloween's obviously the first one coming up, so that's the first one we're going to see, but I'm excited to see this.
Let's dive on in. Before we do, though, we have to, of course, thank this channel's sponsor, Zygor. If you want the ultimate guide add-on for the World of Warcraft in-game holidays, leveling, achievement farming, mount collecting, pet collecting, it doesn't matter. Zygor does it all, and it's linked down below in the description. Use the code NIXIUM for 20% off. There's a lot of people out there, you would be surprised, that do not even know who the Headless Horseman is. They know that he's that cackling, laughing character in the Hollow's End event, but they don't know about the
It's always been one of my favorite holiday
this
events.
character. So let's begin this video by first just establishing who is the Headless Horseman. Otherwise, the new quest line is not really going to make much
corpse.
sense.
That's who
so
he
a
is.
quick overview of his lore. The Headless Horseman, his original name was Thomas Thompson, and he was a paladin, a knight of the Silver Hand, along with Uther the Lightbringer. You guys probably remember him from Warcraft 3. Now, Thomas, he did not agree with Arthas and his whole plan of purging Strathholm, and he ultimately ended up
So you're
fighting
telling me
against
he's another puss, another bitch who wasn't willing to do what it would take to keep the Scourge at bay. Only Arthas had the balls.
He ultimately ended up fighting against him after sending his wife and daughter to Kalimdor to avoid the war against the Scourge. Later on, he ultimately joined the Scarlet Crusade, and he slowly began to look up to everybody's favorite dreadlord in Scarlet Crusader disguise, Sidon Dathrahan. And one day, under the command of Dathrahan, he went to a town full of
That name is such a
refugees
giveaway. What the fuck is wrong with them? How did they not know he was a dreadlord?
with his fellow crusaders, and there he helped kill off the population, believing that every single person there was infected by the undead scourge. In the chaos,
Oh, so now
Thomas
it's okay
ended
to
up
kill.
killing his own wife and daughter, who he didn't even realize had not made it to Kalimdor with Jaina Proudmoore. Doing this drove him absolutely mad,
Some
and he was
dark lore.
taken back to the Scarlet Monastery, where he just descended deeper and deeper into madness.
Yeah,
He
there is a
started
heroic run
speaking
today,
in
that's right.
rhymes. They eventually beheaded him because he was just crazy, and eventually he was brought back to life using necromancy by Balnazar, aka Dathrahan. And ever
Wow.
since then, this tormented soul, this creation of this dreadlord, has ridden across the skies of Azeroth, bringing havoc and rhymes and treats to all the denizens of Azeroth.
Pretty badass lore.
That is the lore. Now, how did this whole fight work in the past? Very simple. You queue up, you go into the dungeon to fight the Headless Horseman, you go through a series of phases where he spawns pumpkin soldiers to fight against you, his head occasionally comes off, you have to DPS it down. It's not a very hard fight, to be fair.
No.
It's really just a quick little chore to get out of the way during Hollow's End. And if you defeat him, he will drop treats, masks, flying broomsticks, and even if you're very, very lucky, he'll even drop his Headless Horseman mount.
Yeah, we
the
need an
flying
up-res
horse,
version of this.
which I think is the best looking flying mount in the game, in my opinion. And I've never gotten that mount before you
I've
asked.
never gotten it.
And I hate that. I hate the fact I've been grinding on this mount. I'm not even going to go into it. I'm not even going to go into it. The thing is, this
I
character,
would love to get
the
that
Headless
mount.
Horseman, because of his lore, his tragic backstory, because of what he offers to players in terms of the fight and the event, he quickly became a fan favorite in the World of Warcraft community. I mean, just look at some of this fan art for this character. It's amazing.
Yeah,
He
it
even
is.
once had his own action figure that you could buy at comic stores near your house. You can't get these anymore, to my understanding, but I actually had one. I don't have it with me right now.
Damn,
but
I
had
wonder how
one of
much
these
they're
things,
worth
and it was
now.
cool. Everyone loves the Headless Horseman, and in patch 10.1.7, we're finally seeing an update to this guy. I know you've been waiting for it. Let's just dive in. What's different? First of all, he is going to get a new quest line that revolves around his lore and the continuation of his story, and he's also getting some updates to his mechanics to make the fights a little bit more challenging, a little bit more engaging. Let's talk about the quest line first.
We're gonna do it.
During Hollow's End, you will find a quest that will begin either in Orgrimmar or just outside of Stormwind, and it's a quest called A Ghostly Message. What it is there is a letter that has been found, and it's
yeah, look at that. Look for Thomas Thompson. Oh, man, I've not even paid attention to the lore behind the Headless Horseman, but that whole story was really good.
Note from a person named Thomas Thompson. You guys should remember that name from earlier in the video.
Yes,
and
we do.
And the only word on this note is your character's name. You are then sent to figure out what is the origin of this note, what is its purpose.
This
it was
cool.
found
Whole
at the
little
Scarlet
quest line
Monastery,
for the holiday
so you
event?
go up there to check it out. Upon arriving at the Scarlet Monastery, you will meet the ghost of Thomas Thompson, the Headless Horseman, and he is remorseful for all these years of just bringing havoc upon Azeroth. And he's seeking to atone for those sins. Mostly, he's just looking for his wife, who he killed in his madness. He wants to set things right with her. At least her spirit, anyway. You'll start making your way up to the monastery, and all these memories, these ghosts of these Scarlet Crusaders will appear. At least, they'll seem like ghosts at first until they turn into these big, scary shadow monsters that are going to try to kill you.
The hell?
When you're a Scarlet Crusader, you kind of have done some messed up things in your life, and so that rage and that torment kind of manifests as big, scary shades, apparently. Eventually, you'll reach his wife, who then turns also into a big scary monster.
Yeah.
And then Thomas suggests that, hey, we need to go check out the fountain behind the monastery, because that's where him and his wife would spend a lot of time. And it is there, at that fountain, that Thomas finally reunites with his wife, all before a new character named Jerome Hayton shows up to ruin the fun. This character's motives
Is that really his name? Jerome Hayton? Haters be hating? What? That's what...
exactly fleshed out much, but apparently he believes in the Headless Horseman. Like, he actually not believes in him, but he believes
religiously
in the cause of the
believes
Headless
in it?
Horseman, and he wants to see the Horseman ride again. Apparently, this man also was in Dathrahan's inner circle, so he was a big fan of the Dreadlord without realizing that Dathrahan was a Dreadlord. Jerome starts casting a spell on the spirit of Thomas. You need to go through a quick little process of breaking his invulnerability shield that protects him.
This quest
but
line looks cool.
unfortunately, you are too late, and the Horseman is going to ride again.
Yeah.
Thomas turns into the Headless Horseman all over again. He kills Jerome in his madness. He flies off into the skies, and the fun begins all over again. Definitely a short-lived reunion between the happy couple, and kind of sucks to be Susanna, the wife, but now I would say that I feel sorry for this Susanna character, but I don't, because I really need that Headless Horseman mount. So the idea of these two living happily ever after and wandering off in sunset, no, that ain't gonna fly. I need that mount. After the Horseman flies away, you can also read Jerome's journal. You can learn a little bit more about his relationship with Dathrahan, and you can learn as well that the Dreadlord has tricked him unknowingly into learning how to use fel magic to, well, corrupt the spirit of Thomas and turn him back into the Headless Horseman.
It's content.
And that's it for the quest line. But one of the cool things about this patch is it's going to bring an upgrade to the Headless Horseman fight. Because, let's be real, we've been doing this fight for a very long time, and it's kind of dull. So Blizzard wanted to spice it up a bit. And they've chosen to do this by implementing 4 curses that you can now take on before you fight the Headless Horseman. This means that the Headless Horseman fight now officially has a hard mode. There are these 4 Wickermen that stand at the entrance of the dungeon, and if you go up to them, they all have these different curses that you can accept that change how the fight proceeds. One curse, for example, says that during Pumpkin Breath, cursed targets will emit shadow flame blasts around their location, and each blast will inflict a stack of Wickerman's shadow.
Or else you gotta spread out. You gotta take that one, you gotta spread out.
Another curse says during Vine March, piercing thorns erupt under cursed enemies periodically, and the thorns will inflict a stack of Wickerman shadow.
That's just some damage mitigation, gotta heal through it.
The third Wickerman statue says, when Insidious Cackle is cast, cursed targets will shed part of their soul. The soul is shackled, forced to slowly move towards shadowy flames. Now, destroying these shackles will free the soul, and should the soul And should the soul reach the flames, the target will suffer 2 stacks.
You got so you gotta freaking break the chain. You gotta break the chain. You gotta get on the ads if you do this one.
Wickerman Shadow. And last but not least, the 4th one, during Hothead, cursed enemies will suffer from hallucinations. Moving to the hallucinations will dispel them, but ignoring the hallucinations will inflict 2 stacks of Wickerman Shadow.
Oh man, what is that? Moving to the hallucinations will dispel them. So you got to go towards the okay.
Accepting all 4 of these curses at the same time
do all
is going
4,
to
man.
make the fight a lot more challenging, but a lot more interesting and rewarding. Just watching the fight footage here, you can see that there is a lot going on, a lot more than what you would normally see in the Headless Horseman fight. And I think this is really cool for a fan-favorite character to be buffed in this way by Blizzard. You can, of course, get an achievement for completing the fight with all 4 curses applied to you. The Headless Horseman will drop item level 402 gear, but shockingly, I'm very surprised, and maybe we'll see this in the future, we're not getting an updated Headless Horseman model mount.
We have to, man. That's,
you know, patch 10.1.7 is still being data mined.
That's the one thing that I was hoping for, honestly. Like, if you want to motivate me to do any content in game, give me a good looking mount. Now, I'm not saying this mount is not good looking. This is a beautiful mount, but this could be up-resed, and honestly, if they up-res this mount, it would be one that I would kill to have. Legitimately, I'd be killing the Headless Horseman every day, but I'd be going nuts to get this thing
right now, so it's possible we could get that.
And
I really, really hope that we do.
It's
such a cool mount. The community loves it. It's just a flying horse. Blizzard, if you're not considering updating it, you should update it and make it a reward for doing all 4, you know, or at least there's a chance it'll drop if you do all 4 of the Wickerman's curses. One of Blizzard's goals with the future of World of Warcraft that they've talked about is they've wanted to periodically update all of the holidays. And so seeing this bit of love being thrown towards Hollow's End is just really cool. Hopefully we get some updates to Winter's Veil next. It would be cool as well if Blizzard implemented more small tier events, kind of like the running of the Gnomes event, if you guys are familiar with that. There's really a lot that Blizzard could do.
If they up-res the mount, I mean, they could do even what they did with, like, the Karazhan mount, right? Where you could have the low-res version, but then you could also have the new, maybe it's got more armor, a slightly different look, up-res version. So you could get both. That would be cool. And you could maybe pick, I don't know, which version. I guess maybe they couldn't do it because Karazhan technically has 2 versions of the dungeon, and Headless Horseman will only have the updated version to be able to do. But I would just love to see an up-res version of that mount. Edgelord Mail Enhancement Device. Sam, would you do Running of the Gnomes? Oh, shit, yeah.
On the holiday side of World of Warcraft year-round. The holidays always create something to look forward to in the game. So for those of you that made it this far in this video, thank you for watching. And if you're curious about even more 10.1.7 content that's coming out in the future, you should watch the video on your screen right now. In this video, we talk about all the cool new things coming in 10.1.7, from the Druids of the Flame speculation, new class armors, new skins for Night Elves and Undead. We go into a lot of things, guys. Thank you for watching. Big shout out to the channel members, and I'll see you guys at the Scarlet Monastery.
Nice video. Yeah, I'm excited for the new Hollow's End stuff, and I think they're doing this to all the holiday events, so it's cool to see that.